let's talk about Sundowns, because one of the questions that were asked were about Sundowns. Rulani Paul, how do you feel about Rulani as a Sundowns fan so far?
I have nothing to complain about regarding Rulani and his tactics, because so far so good. 5 games, winning in a row, and that's a record, I think, for any other Sundowns manager before him. So, understandably, he's new at the helm. He's got new players, and he's applying his tacticians wholly without any objections, because he's the head coach after all. So if I were to complain, I would just be nitpicking, because there's nothing. We're getting results, we're still getting beautiful football, and we're still spending on quality players.
And then, what do you think that he's being unfairly criticized? He came out in the media and spoke about how some of the critiques are a bit too far. What do you think of that?
But honestly, I could be wrong, but I haven't seen any Sundowns supporter criticize him. Most of the critiques that he gets are from Soweto clubs or any other team for that matter. I don't know why, because when they have so many of problems, but they seem it fit to come and criticize Rulani. He's forever being compared to Pep, which is an honor actually. He's forever being questioned no matter what good he does. I mean, like, the guy has proved himself that he's good.
Oh, okay. Let me bring it Butlare. Let's talk about Rulani. How do you feel about Rulani, and do you feel like he's being unfairly criticized?
Okay, yeah. Okay, let me just say I agree with you and Napoleon before I go to Rulani that I think our club needs to go to say what he said, that go open a netball club, open those small things that the kids will relate with, and also advertise for the local businesses around. That you create a soft spot for people around your area, and then once you have your soft spot around your area, definitely they will support you. As I said, local is lekker. But anyway, I love what you said. It's your visibility, what Arsenal did. Have create a soft spot around your people, then your people will support you. That's the only way. And once you have your people supporting you, then you start saying, okay, for my people, if you are playing home, I'm giving you 20 rand tickets. 20 rand is better than that. But anyway, we're not there. Rulani Ball, look, for me, I think Rulani is doing well. I think we are harshly criticizing him. I think he knows what he's doing. I think the slight change of philosophy in how he used to play last season is contributing to a slight delay in how we want to see Sundowns. But what are we complaining for? Look at the results. I'm speaking for itself. Rulani now has a way of winning. He finds a way of winning. Sometimes it may not be as beautiful as we used to see it last year, but he makes sure that he wins. So I think we're actually criticizing him. I agree with Okumo. As well as he plays nice. He knows what he's doing. Maybe the chameleon is coming out right. Because I think now it becomes very unpredictable. Because last year we knew that's how they will play. We knew it's from the inside, they spread wide. But I watched yesterday's game. Sundowns, they're very compact. Hey, my man, you see how wide the 18-yard area is? It's like they're playing, the stadium to them is the 18-yard area from the far post to the other post. That's how small the stadium, the field is. If they go beyond that, they don't even, it's just a pass that someone will run from the wing to take it, but they still bring it in that small space. They're playing very, 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 very tight spaces. And I don't know how is that, but if you look at it, they don't kick the ball far from the wing. Their field basically is a very tiny. There's no longer 100 meter field wide. It's just very tiny by the 18 by 18 area side. So it tells you that it's trying to say we're gonna play tight, and if you lock us in the middle, we can't go through. Where now we have already squeezed you inside because we have that mentality that everyone needs to be behind the ball when we're playing Sundowns. Everyone is becoming tight. We are already squeezing you in. Our wing play is wide open. Once we make one pass outside that tight area, we are already spread because now you're going to try to open up to go mark the other person. That's how their goals came out. The Mendieta goal. We are tight. We pass. We open the width. When you open the width, one defender is already losing position because that one defender will try to go mark the width, and then the player comes in to get into that space. So I feel like Rulani's ball is coming out very perfect. And I don't know why the coaches are not seeing that. It's a way of manipulating them to say, let's go compact inside, because Sundowns is already inside, it's very compact inside. But there's one pass that will go to the wing, my man. And once it goes to the wing, you lose focus. A mindset of a defender says, I need to go close the player before they bring in a cross. And once you go to that player, another player goes and close that position where you're coming from, or they make a run behind you.
It's what Ntseki did for the first half of that match versus them.
Exactly. And that's how they score. I don't know why the coaches are not seeing that. Why, as an opposition team, when a team does that, say, take two of your wings, don't come inside with us. Stay wide. When we get the ball, we play wide. I don't know, but I think Rulani is a mastermind, my man. And if we are not careful, they might win by 2 goals. They find a bad team, they give me the whipping, win by 1 goal, but the points are going. The points are going, and it's already done. The Sundowns has already taken the lead. What are we comparing to Rulani? And if you don't see that, it's gonna change the landscape of South African football, like what Pep did to world football.
Kumo, I just want to go back to you quickly. Did you have any comments for the previous topic?
Which one for
ask you guys? The one about teams. How do they increase their revenue? Because Butari started with that. I just wanted to give you an opportunity if you wanted to add anything.
Yes, a lot of my esteemed panel members, they were speaking about on how we should own stadiums, right? It's a great concept, but remember, guys, we also have legacy stadiums that we built for the World Cup. Now, if a team like, let's say, Cheaper decides to move from Nelson Mandela Bay and go to a smaller venue, what's going to happen to the stadium is going to become a wet elephant. So the municipality will be losing revenue. The money spent on the stadium will be gone. The stadium will not be utilized. So I understand what you're trying to say, but we also have to find a balance, right? And I like what you said regarding about awareness and stuff like that. Honestly, that is the best solution for an immediate problem. And that's what I think.
Just on the stadiums, isn't that the issue at the first place? Because I think the teams are, how do I put it? The teams are sacrificing some of the revenue that they have. Well, some of them are sacrificing some of the revenue that they're making in order to rent some of these stadiums. And because maybe SAFA and the government and the PSL didn't think these stadiums through like that, now they're suffering for something that shouldn't be their issue. Shouldn't it be the municipality's issue? And if I can make more money as my own team, White Elephant Aseaka, because we don't have any equity in that thing. We don't own the thing. We are spending more money. It's inconveniencing fans in some cases. Shouldn't that be the thinking?
Yeah, but some of the teams do get compensation. Like for instance, the government or the municipality pays them to use those stadiums. So it's also a way for those teams to get revenue. And I mean, like, if you have a legacy World Cup stadium, it ticks all the boxes. So should you qualify for CAF, you have no issues. You don't have to apply new patches.
Yeah, we can rent it once off. Chiefs, Pirates, Sundowns, CAF, if we do. We don't have to play all our games there.
But then again, when you rent, you don't have first preference. What if the Kings rugby team is playing? I mean, like, if you are the custodian of that stadium, you're gonna have first preference on your home games and whatever. So now, if you're gonna continue this leasing model and the spring and the Curry Cup is there, so and they say no because rugby brings in more revenue,
we'll go to another one. We'll rent another one.
Which other one is there in Eastern Cape?
I get it. They were playing in Moses Mabhida the other day.
No, but which one is there in the Eastern Cape which is CAF compliant? And also, if you're going to go to Moses Mabhida, what if Amazulu is playing the Chiefs?
No, I'm just saying that's what the teams are doing now. It's no longer even home thing. Sometimes when they play against Chiefs or whatever, you'll find they're playing in a completely different province or completely different whatever. They just rent it.
Yeah, okay.
You get what I mean? You get me? Like the Bulls wouldn't rent out Loftus. Or for example, the Bulls owning Loftus is an advantage for them in some cases. Mara, maybe we'll speak about it after this round.
Okay, sure.
Maybe we'll speak about it after this round. Mhlabe, any thoughts about the previous thing we were speaking about?
Yeah, no. I've spoken my thoughts on it. I'm okay.
Tell me what you think about Rulani. What are your thoughts around Rulani and is he unfairly criticized?
Yeah, no. I believe that Rulani is very unfortunate and is being disrespected by the soccer fraternity in South Africa. Rulani does not only do the talk, and if he does the talk, it's only football talks. But then he puts in the work. Rulani is the most working coach here in PSL. He loves the game. He puts in the hours. He doesn't only talk about it. You can see, and it's visible on the team that he's playing right now. That Rulani, what he's doing there, that there's proper coaching. Rulani is invested in the team and also in the game. You can see even this season, he is changing the winning system that he was using last season. If it was any other coaches, they were still going to continue on the system that he was using last season, maybe try to improve on that. But then Rulani, because he's way ahead of other coaches in the PSL, so to say, he's trying new things. The chameleon football right now that is bringing, and you can see it's not yet there. But then the good thing about the new system that he's using now, it is getting results. So imagine if he's winning in Tier 1, what's going to happen after 10 to 15 games when he hit Gear 2, 3, 4? What's going to happen? It's scary what Rulani is trying to build there by Sundowns. But then unfortunately, people are just hating on him just because he's not coaching their FC. But Rulani is the most disrespected coach in South Africa, and it's very unfortunate because the guy loves the job and he puts in the hours, and it's visible to everyone, even the people that don't want to notice it. But then his work is very, very, very loud. You can see that he loves his job and he loves the game.
Why do you think he's so disrespected and so heavily criticized? What is it about him or the style of play, his perception? Why do people hate him so much?
I don't know what he say. Maybe he says is because maybe he didn't play the game. He didn't go play professionally. Because somehow people think that for you to be the best coach, you need to play the game. Maybe that's the reason. Or maybe it's because he's young. Maybe because he's black. Maybe because he's from Ekasi. So people think for you to be the best coach, maybe you should be from Europe. Maybe you should be white. Or I don't know. Or maybe you should be old. I don't know. But then maybe because it's of his age, because of the color. But I don't wanna believe that. I just that people may just don't like the guy. But then Coach Rulani doesn't disrespect anyone. It's a good human being. He speaks football. You will never hear him disrespecting other coaches. He acknowledges other coaches. So I don't know. Unfortunately, maybe because he's not coaching the other FC, of which, but then he did try to coach Pirates, of which didn't work out for him. Yes, it didn't work out for him. Maybe also people they still hang out on that. But then that's the management that decided to let him go, not to support him and his vision. And then at Sundowns, he found the management that have a vision, and then they support the coach. Hence, he's thriving there. So, yeah, it's unfortunate that at Rulani is being disrespectful. But I think it's because of his age, man. Maybe that's why, or maybe didn't play the game to the professional level. It might be one of the reasons.
Do you have anything to add about the previous thing we were speaking about with teams reaching out to fans?
On that, all I can say is just like the teams, let them go to the communities, interact as you've mentioned many things, or how you go paving, or mama keep us cheaper, or chest pay. Let them go to the communities, like Celtic, everywhere, everywhere. Celtics is green and white there, even the songs, everything. So you go to other provinces. Amazulu at least what does Mamkize do?
We can have friends, Mamkize. We tell la chelete.
Silam.
What do you think about Rulani? What are your thoughts around him? Why is it unfair? Is he unfairly criticized, and why is he unfairly criticized?
No, now I think Rulani is doing a great job. Criticism, it goes the soccer about. He must man up. Sonse ati ke ofi coach Zangba Moroka. Ke ofi o Zangba bam mouth. I just want to remind the Sundowns supporters, Rulani team so Sundowns once babile ba Pitso must go. Okay? Now Rulani is on top. I just want to go back with Sundowns supporters. The strategies are high, the what chameleon. Don't you think Rulani somewhere somehow Lalo win the panel ya Pitso Komphela. When I'm saying panel the players are high, we say 2-3 and the players are Pitso. Don't you think he's using those some of his strategies here and there? Rulani kimfa, Rulani coach akasi. Why it's a polo, we bua, akaya ludula lili sefe Alexine, adwele pep. But one thing that we must know, nice Paris fan, I respect the guy, but one thing that the strategies are Pitso dia sebetsa here and there go Sundowns. Whether we love it, whether not. We cannot rebe Rulani team. Ona no, he's trying to read okay, the midfield say 6. Say attacker, say defender. Will those things work now? I get na coach wa ka o idlala 4-4-2 high or 4-5-1 you. Sebile ba Motsepe. Then I try to change. Yeah, I respect Rulani, but I skalebalang. Sundowns will criticize a Pitso. Pitso must go. Pitso appeal up the socks are high. They don't talk about those things. It's everything Rulani. Think after the coaches say Rukulu bo mangma. Bo kima Vivi wa Kaizer Chiefs. Yes. But babile ba mena pa batia. Rulani a ratshwara prema re mshutshuze. Pitso ba tla fila di big shoes. Let him fill those big shoes. Le mangithi wa tseba le. Mangithi wa tseba le lutho go arrows. Babile ba mnyakazisa lena da. So lena hati ba fethu.
I'm gonna jump in with my thoughts.
All right.
My thoughts about Rulani is I'm gonna split it into two. Number one, tactically and as a coach, I feel as though it's one of two things. It's either Rulani has clocked that all I need is results. But 1-0, but 2-0, they're results. They're 3 points. 3 points is clocking. And I liken it to how the Arabs treated Pitso. So if you guys remember, when Pitso was coaching Ahly, they didn't like him. They didn't want him. They were complaining about the football, and not to say Sundowns complaining. I'm just saying in general. They're complaining about the football. They were saying that it's ugly, it's whatever. But he was winning game after game after game after game. So maybe what we think is being sloppy is being very, very efficient. That's the one part. Secondly, it might not even be that. It might just be it's a new system. They're learning the new system. Once they got the new system, who knows? The sky's the limit, as Sundowns fans say. But it's one of those two things. In terms of him being criticized, I look at it differently. I look at it as the greatest compliment you can get in football is being hated. I'll give you an example. Pep Guardiola. How does Pep Guardiola speak about Arteta? And how does Pep Guardiola speak about Klopp? And what does that show you about how he feels about these two guys? So sometimes when he speaks about Arteta, it feels like it's a little brother situation. He's my little brother. I love him. Mara. End of the day, but when you face a proper rival, there's a fight there. There's a way, man. Him and Klopp are going hard at each other. So for me, I would say that Rulani should look at it as a compliment. That, yo, guys, they hate me so much. Kiwina. Here I am, what? We are 5 games in. He's won all of them. His team everybody says they're beatable or whatever, but so far, they've won all their games, you know? So then you ask yourself, where does that come from? And I remember saying yesterday that I think the criticism of Rulani is not... Okay, the criticism of Sundowns is not us hating Sundowns. It's us looking at Sundowns being jealous that here's a club that's doing everything that we wish our clubs were doing. The criticism of Rulani is not criticism of Rulani. It's criticism of, guys, we know Sundowns standards is here. So any soccer fan will feel a bit better when Sundowns, we feel like it's here. And it's Sundowns versus Sundowns. That is criticism of Sundowns now versus an old Sundowns. It's not a criticism of Rulani versus ntseki. We can't even speak about that. Or Rulani versus Jose Rivero. There's a gap there. But it's like, it's him being compared to previous Sundowns teams, not him being compared to the rest of the league. So that's how I view this whole Rulani topic. And when we speak about Rulani, Kuma, anything to add about this Rulani topic?
No. I'm just gonna be cheeky a bit here. You just said, Hore, when you are hated in football as a coach, is a compliment.
Yeah.
Oh, so should that thing also be awarded to Zwani? Because he was
no. I mean by your rivals. No, by your rivals. Hey, I don't mean by other coaches. I was just saying the way we treat. You get what I mean? The way I treat somebody. You want to when Pirates and Chiefs were at its. Pirates and Chiefs were at its peak. Ne? We hated each other. Like, hey, because why? It's a rival, you know? The moment I shake hands with you and I'm happy and I might not really rate you that much, or I don't rate the rivalry. But the moment it starts becoming, you're number one. Remember that he's number one. You get what I mean?
Yeah. No. I was just being a bit shaky. But
I get you.
Yeah, just to add on regarding publicity amongst to increase revenue, ne? I think also like the team needs to get a PR consulting firm. Ne?
Okay.
So ever since, I'm a Sundowns fan, and guys, I'm biased. It won't change. I'm just putting it out there. Ne? So ever since we signed with Rock Nation, we've opened our club to new markets, right? Yes, in the past, Motsepe was associated with the Blue Bulls. But after Rogue Nation, that was when he formally acquired a stake in Blue Bulls. You know what that has done for us? They took the best Pretoria teams, whether in rugby and football, and they were like unified. So now Sundowns has supporters who were traditional rugby supporters are now supporting Sundowns because of the Blue Bulls Association. So that was one of the other things that I want to highlight on how you can also get supporters, and by default you're gonna get more revenue for your team.
That's why I said, for me, move it away from football. Like, I can guarantee you, most of those rugby fans haven't watched a Sundowns game. Or maybe they might now, but they haven't watched the Sundowns game. But they don't view Sundowns like that. They view it as here's another Pretoria team. Maybe they have a cool kit I can wear. You get what I mean? The Bulls players are wearing it. So maybe these smaller teams, man, stop trying to convert Chiefs fans to be Richards Bay fans, or trying to convert. Try go get those new markets of people that maybe aren't that deep into football. You get what I mean? Maybe their connection to the team is not going to be what's happening on the pitch. The connection will be, that kid, Richards Bay, you get what I mean? Yo, Robert Boy, the other day, it's really cool. Let's make it a swag thing, a drip thing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Maybe look there, and especially for revenue, you know?
Yeah, sharp. And also, we also have the biggest beauty pageant after Miss South Africa. I'm just putting it out there.
You see, but you get those type of things help out a lot. Butare, what do you think about, anything to add about Rulani? What do we think about his tactics? Well, we spoke a lot about his tactics. Do you think that it's something that's going to be feasible in the future? Do you think that the chameleon is working?
Yeah. Before I get there, I want to agree with you. But what I will say is, I guess small teams, they say they can't afford big companies for PR. These days, you don't need PR. Sundowns, these days, they don't use PR. They go for these young people. I mean, we young people are a creative band. There's a guy that is advertising is doing show works for Sundowns. Now he's under DSTV finishing. Lenny. He started by TikTok. Hello, hi, what. Sundowns brought him in because he has a market. He has people that follow him. So I think if Skubuna can go to Limpopo and partner with both Parapana, Sabamaruchi, Kabelo GP. Look what
Limpopo boy, Bobamang.
My man, that you attracting this AMA 2000 because those are the people that they can relate with. Or Papa can talk about Skubuna when there's games. Bring those people in, say, come to 2-3 minute jokes that you normally do, and then you bring supporters in. But anyway, we're not there. I don't know why you're watching. They're frustrating, man. But anyway, when it comes to Rulani, guys, I don't think it's about. I think we are harshly judging Ilo, Sundowns, right? Or Rulani. Why do we have to compare him with Pitso? It's not fair. Yes, he was under Pitso, but it's his own person, it's his own personality, he has his own ways of playing. And I want to say, Pitso respects Rulani the most. I will tell you that. Most of his interviews, he will tell you that Rulani is very smart. Even when Pitso was a head coach, Stephen Modise spoke about this. So even when Pitso was a head coach, he will say to Rulani, run that session. This is what we want to achieve. He tells Rulani that this is what I want to achieve. Run the session based on what I told you. He never says Rulani what to do. Rulani will go to the board and make the players do what Pitso wanted to do. So Pitso knew what Rulani has, knew how adventurous Rulani is. And Tico said some of the schemes that he speaks of schemes, some of the schemes that we used to see during Pitso's time, it was Rulani's idea. So it tells you that Rulani contributed a lot to the Pitso team. But I can't say Pitso is gone. He doesn't like certain ways of how certain players play. And he's trying to change. I want my own players. I want to take why we want coaches at Chiefs to go for their own players, but now we don't want Sundowns to say, Rulani, go for your own players that you want to play with. And one thing I respect about Rulani the most is look at what Andile Jali did, right? Another coach was going to speak openly about that in the media. But Rulani didn't say that. He said, if you want gossip about my players, you'll never whatever. Can you hear me, man?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, whatever it's happening in Sundowns, stays at Sundowns. You're not going to hear anything bad about my players. That, for me, it brings a lot of respect to the player. Yes, players, as coach Gus Moses said, I'm a player, I don't know how to say that in English. They mourn a lot. So they will mourn, but you still protect them. So for me, Rulani is doing well. And as I said earlier, I still stick with my word saying, Rulani, he's doing something that most coaches, they don't see. The way my man, yesterday's game, I watched yesterday's game, and I realized these people, they're making the field very small. And teams are driving into that small spaces, and they leave those spaces in the wide areas. And they will punish you. And you think, man, it's a one goal need, you could have won 5-0. My man, now the purpose is, I'm getting 3 points. You guys are playing draws. I'm not playing any draws. I'm not losing any game. And if you score first, we will find a way of scoring. So those are the most, and it's not like they're playing very bad. They're playing very beautiful, but we are not used to how he's playing. That's how Pep did. We're not used to how tiki-taka football when Pep started with Barcelona. People criticize, saying he's taking a lot of time before he attack. There's not enough attacking. He's taking tiki-taka. It's a useless game. It's not productive. But when they started realizing that it's exciting, it's beautiful, it's bringing results, now everyone is like, yeah, now we want to play Pep football, tiki-taka. So Rulani is coming with his own ways. I feel like it's time as football fans, and more especially South African football fans, to embrace what Rulani is trying to do. If it's his own way of playing, beautiful. Look, where else have you seen a wing back or a left back or right back playing as a mid, playing as a striker, playing as everything? Umudiba is just a versatile player at Sundowns. But no one would have thought Umudiba can play such a lot of positions at once. And if, for argument's sake, for my last point, if you were to say you're playing Chipa says, okay, Umudiba is a problem, men mark Umudiba. How are you going to mark him? Because the first part is a left back, or Uchichi is a winger. When you try to go to the winger, you are, for example, a right player. He goes inside. Now you want to follow him. You're leaving a lot of spaces unattended. So for me, it's a very, very, very productive kind of scheme that he's playing, and he knows what he's doing. Yes, for players, it's going to move slowly because they need to get used to what he's trying to bring. Also, Pitso, when he got there, we criticized Pitso. I feel like we're not welcome Sola, and it hurts me the most because it's a black boy didn't go to Europe, didn't go anywhere, trying to innovate the space of football because he loved the game. And I think it's time to respect him that much. Pitso won the Champions League. Maybe that is why we fond of Pitso. Yes, he did well. But after the 2016, my man has been knocked out from the quarterfinals so many times. But Rulani took that Sundowns team to the semi-final. Unfortunately, they lost by a blink of a second to go to the final. And they didn't even lose a single game in the Champions League. That tells you how good that Sundowns is. And believe you me, teams will suffer with that Sundowns teams. And hey, overthinking, I need to sleep, man. I'm working night. I want to say to you.
No stress.
I want to say to you, man, I have listened. I went back to watch the Coach Busmus because I was sleeping anyway. And big up to you. I think what we are doing with your show, my man, if we'll get the fact that we are able to get the attention of a football coach in the PSL, it means we respect each other and we don't speak as if we are only supporters of certain teams who are swearing at each other. But we speak the game, we speak the tactics of the game, we speak how teams should play, we speak with respect. As much as Coach Moses said, guys, as I was watching through TikTok, you got my attention because we were not there to say, yeah, my Chiefs swearing at each other. But we're speaking the game. If it's after the game, we speak the analytics of the game. We are also fans, and this is learning from us. My man Oti, you're going very far. Please stay humble. And I'm hoping more people like Coach Vosmos will be humble enough to say, what you're doing with this show, my man, it's going far. And I love how we all respect each other. Big up to the gents, big up to us followers every single day. Guys, I have so much respect for you. After Vosmo's interview, I love you all, guys. Cheers, guys.
Thanks. Mhlave, anything to add about Rulani?
Yeah, man. Maybe what Napoleon was saying about Rulani, saying Hore he's using maybe Pitso's team. Look, Pitso, he also got a team from another coach from next year. Also the next year got a team from another coach. Obviously, Rulani is gonna find a coach from the previous coach as well. So what's so good about Rulani is he found the Pitso team and the structure, but then he improved the team. You know, you can't say we Sundowns is playing the same way Pitso was playing. Okay, the structure is there, fine. Pitso also didn't start with the structure. The Shushan in piano was way there before Pitso era. Pitso also find. Exactly. Also find out the Shushan piano. But then what really did, he took the Shushan piano and then put it to private school. You know, he modernized the Shushan piano. So what Rulani is doing to that Sundowns team, it's really scaring, guys. He hasn't even peaked. It's only starting. Imagine if he picks. I wish he doesn't go too soon, maybe to Europe or maybe to their oil money or somewhere in Africa. I wish he stays and then we see his project. He finishes his project at Sundowns, and also. Obviously, there is no loyalty in soccer. Somewhere, somehow, Rulani, the very same Sundowns fans that are praising him, are because even myself last season when we were knocked out by Wydad, I was pissed at Rulani. Why couldn't he manage the game? Why didn't he do that? Why did he force Mvala and all those things? It's still gonna happen. As much as he's playing good football right now, there will be a time whereby, because also Rulani is human, and one thing I like about Rulani, he accepts and then his mistakes, and then he even say it in public that no guys, there I got it wrong. But then I will work on that and all that. So Rulani is not that we're saying he's perfect and all that, but then he's young, he's learning. But the most important thing, he loves the game and he puts in the work. That's what I like about Coach Rulani. Yeah, that's all.
Okay. With Napoleon, anything to add about Rulani?
All I can say about Rulani, Ramashapela Matzo, still A. They're not trying to Morgan. They're not trying to Morgan. I know Pascal. Yeah, who found Morgan now?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, in the so we see the Masanda one as out. But I love how address team high. Lidi mind games generally are the talent. October that's one of going team it. We'll just have to see. But then I love his job. Besides the jokes, I love his job. Yeah, I love his job. It's a coach Loring Achilo Abutim Saro Askavai. Arimone, then it's about Paul Toleza, Rohonom Saluta. But let's not criticize him for trying to Pitso. Removing chance, Elena. But Lena's cover big headed. I relax. Yeah. I wanna come Akatona de Maluma Chom. Amamela Chom. I love Uncle Frachom. The interview side, it's a World Cup. What boo that guy? And straightforward. That's the only guy who comes to straightforward. Was actually jiggy. Akamamela Maluma as far as I know, the white wearing cutting. I be right. And bo cheese, bo pirates, bo the team say Komphela. Komphela never really the foundation. But let's go out there. Let's go out there. We're supporting Banabanyani, grounding, whatever about it. Yeah, let's order the team to build the upcoming business, the play business. Yeah, let's not stick fella ko bolong. Aba tswele bona bolong hanyane. Ona no babatla machitara a biaskelem. O marabile hantle khu. Tisela data wa di disk diamonds. Ne ke spana ko run back company ya maburu a bona. Tla o jetsa ka bolos di skegni da ideng. Hi, Shabalala rap.
I think, yeah, I just think, guys, some of the stuff, I think it's part of it. I think when you start coaching, I said it, was it yesterday? When you start coaching at a certain level and you're coaching certain teams and you're at a certain point in your career, there's always going to be haters. There's always going to be criticism. It's part of it.